So, are remakes damaging the video game industry? Because this is something I have been hearing many people say, or many people complaining or saying that remakes are a cash grabs and useless. So I want to give my quick thoughts on that, give my opinion, and talk about it. So let's start with what are the main difference between a remaster and a remake. Many people already know this, but I'm still gonna say anyways in case anybody's confused. A remaster is a simply upgrade, just textures, maybe FPS and small stuff, while the remake is making the game from the ground up, changing character models, textures, even the engine where the game was made in the previous version. So overall, remakes are a good thing, so why people complain when a company is going to release a remake of an old gen? This is because it can go either way. One, the game can be a massive upgrade, and two, the game can be horrendous from the previous version. It can be buggy, glitchy, and overall be what many people hate, a cash grabs. Just basically a game that is meant just for be bought and that's it. I want to give a few examples of good and bad remakes. So let's start with the bad. We always start with the bad. So a bad remake is the GTA Definitive Trilogy. That is a bad remake. And I consider that being a remake because they overall changed the menu, the character models, textures. So it's not just a remaster. They changed the control, so it's a remake. And this game, I bought the game when it launched, and to be honest, I enjoyed the first week. After that I realized it was a total cash grab. It's something that Rockstar made just for the purpose of people buying it, because Rockstar didn't even develop the remake. They gave the game to another company, Grove Street Games, and Grove Street Games, the only thing they did was put the old games in a new engine and they call it a day. That's the only thing they did. This is not especially a bad remake, but I consider that The Last of Us Part 1 remake it could be better. I also bought the remake, well, I was gifted the remake, but I really enjoyed the remake and I still think The Last of Us is one of my favorite games of all time. But I found myself encountering some troubles when playing the remake. Yes, the character models changed, the textures changed, the graphical update was a huge improvement, but still I needed something more. And I'm not asking for extra levels or something like that because that's something that cannot be possible. But maybe add some features from the second game, like I'm not asking for the prone because we all know Joel couldn't prone because of the level design. But maybe the dodge button couldn't be added as an extra feature of the game. I still enjoy the remake and I still play the remake till this day. I just feel that it couldn't had more. Okay, now let's talk about examples of a good remake. So let's start with the obvious choice, is the Resident Evil 2 remake. From the character models change, from everything, this is such a good remake. I'm going to put here a comparison between the remake and the original game so you can see how different the game looks. This is what a remake should be. So Capcom did a great job in this. You can see that this is not a cash grab. This was made with care and with all the detail that it needs. But at the same time, the Resident Evil 3 remake, I should have talked about that on the previous part of the video, talking about bad remakes. But I don't consider this a bad remake, but it has one huge problem. Capcom cut a lot of the original game in the remake, so the remake is not the same game. The original is very different to the remake in terms of the story. You don't have some parts of the game that was included in the original, which that is a problem, a big problem in my opinion. Because why are you cutting important missions that players love? I have seen a ton of people saying that they love the mission that they cut on the original game. But yeah, I think this shouldn't be done in the remakes. Never cut content from the game. It's like in The Last of Us Part 1 remake, they cut the whole hotel lobby part. It's an example. That is such a mistake that companies should never do in remakes, and let's hope the Resident Evil 4 doesn't suffer from that. Another great remake is the Crash Bandicoot one, the trilogy. It changed almost on every aspect but still maintained the original essence of the game. They changed the art style, but it maintained like the classic Crash Bandicoot style. They changed the graphics, everything. That one is too awesome remake. So now that I mentioned good and bad remakes, are remakes damaging the video game industry? Let's go back to that question, and my opinion is no. I don't think remakes are damaging the video game industry, and As you can see, I enjoy remakes because I have bought remakes in the past, because I feel like remakes give you that opportunity to try that old PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3 game that at that time it had impressive controls, but now to today's standard it has gotten left behind and it's not that same experience. Now it's clunky and not that good. So yeah, I wouldn't say remakes are damaging the video game industry if they are made with care and there is love behind the project and not just a quick cash grab to get money from players. I think it's a good idea to make a remake. I would love to get remakes from games like Red Dead Redemption 1, Bully. I'm pretty hyped for the Silent Hill 2 remake. I would love to get a remake from the original Uncharted games, although they still hold up to today's standard. Imagine, I don't know, Uncharted 2 or 3 in today's engine with today's graphics. It would be insane. So yeah, I wouldn't consider remakes damaging the video game industry. I think they are great choices to get new players to try old games or to relive the same experience but in a better and enhanced way. So yeah, those are my thoughts on remakes in the video game industry. What are your thoughts on that? Do you like remakes? Do you hate remakes? Do you think that they are just a cash grab? What do you think down below in the comments? Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy it. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like the content that you see. And
oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.